I am particularly nervous on this evening. Please forgive me. This doesn't always happen, but at lunch today, Lou Dobbs did my entire act. And now, did we enjoy Lou? Give me some feedback. And I do, yeah. I hear some applause, and I think I heard a little bit of hissing. And don't do that, because I have a place in my heart for Lou Dobbs. It cannot be easy for him. He works, he tries, he promotes his show. Everything on his show is a war. There's a war on the middle class. There's a war on the VA. Everything's a war to them except the war. And it can't be easy for this guy because he tries hard. He truly does. And yet he looks at the ratings and he's beaten by every show on Fox News. And in fact, the highest rated show on his own network is a program, Larry King, that people turn into simply because they can't believe Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet are still alive. I have a feeling, and by the way, do you notice, and this is true not just of their TV shows, of their politics in general, and Ann, you talked about this, they advertise themselves as exactly the opposite of what they are. And you can see this with the names of their TV shows. There's Hardball with Chris Matthews, right? There's Politically Incorrect with the most politically correct guy on the planet, right? There's Larry King Live. And I suspect that people, the liberals, turn into Larry King. Larry King Live is to the liberal what NASCAR is to the rest of America. Right? Basically, it's not that interesting. You know ahead of time people are just going to go around and around in circles, but you keep watching because any second now somebody might die. I have tried to figure out, and I try to figure out what it is I do for a living, and I understand your confusion, David, because I don't know what I do for a living. I was called a comedian at one point, and then I decided to call myself a satirist, because the definition of a satirist is a comedian who's just not that funny. Basically, it was a means to lower expectations for myself. And then I did have that serious talk on YouTube. So let me be serious for a moment, and then I will try to get back to the point of why I'm becoming serious. I have tried to understand how the liberal mind works, because I have dear friends. I have lifelong friends. I have close relatives who I know are not evil. And I know that in every other way they are not stupid. And yet they will side with evil, failure, and wrong at every turn. And I have tried to understand this, and it's turned into a sort of career at some point. You know, what I love about this career is I've sort of eliminated myself from Hollywood. And by the way, there is good news from Hollywood. 6 out of the planned 10 anti-American, anti-war movies have bombed at the box office. That's right. And just the other day, Hollywood announced a moratorium on anti-American, anti-Christian, anti-Semitic movies and TV shows. Well, actually, the writers went on strike, but but I was trying to figure out how it is that good people that I love, and quite frankly, the way that I thought prior to 9/11, because I didn't give it much thought, how it is that good, decent people, how it is that I don't think the people at CNN are evil people. I don't think that Christiane Amanpour is part of an evil conspiracy. Right? I don't think Suzanne Malveaux. By the way, this is another reason Lou Dobbs is so pissed. Even his name, he doesn't even win at Scrabble. Anderson Cooper, Suzanne Malveaux, Christiane Amanpour. It's not that they're evil. And it was Thomas Sowell who nailed it. It is the difference between seeing the world objectively, which is what we do, and seeing the world neutrally. They are neutral at CNN. What's the difference? Let's say we're covering a sporting event. The Jets beat the Giants 57-3. If you're objective, your article reads how the Jets were a better team, how they were better coached, better conditioned, how they had a better game plan, and the Giants quite the opposite. But if you're neutral, the Jets and the Giants are equally good. And then you spend the rest of the article trying to explain away the failures of the Giants. They were cheated. And that is how they see America. Look, there's only 2 ways to explain America's prosperity. There's only 2 ways to explain our unprecedented ingenuity, creativity, productivity, strength. 2 ways. Either we are a superior culture, our Judeo-Christian heritage, our Christian founding fathers and their brilliant documents, our Protestant work ethic, combine to create a culture, and we've earned our success. That's what the objective thinker comes to. But the neutral thinker, the multiculturalist, cannot say that we've earned it, that our culture is better. So the only thing left for them is that we stole it. They spend the rest of the article trying to explain why the team with 3 and not with 57 is the better team. So what they say is that we were imperialists. Are we imperialists? Talk to me. I do a live show. No, of course we're not imperialists. We are the least imperialist power in human history. And what they love to say, because they have to come up with some excuse, some explanation as to why we are prosperous and wealthy and whatnot. So they say we steal people's oil. We don't steal people's oil. I love the contradiction here. We invaded Iraq to steal their oil, and not only that, we're paying too much for it. The only contradiction I like even more is George Bush is the stupidest person who ever lived. So how come so many Democrats voted for the war? Because he fooled them. We don't steal people's oil. We don't steal people's resources. If we stole people's oil, why go halfway across the world? Why not just take over Mexico? They've got tons of oil. Right? It would be easy. There's nobody left there. But we don't steal people's oil. What we do is we create things. And I love this attack on us. We're wealthy because we use 60% of the world's energy. Well, of course we do. We're the people who have plugs. Okay, we have things to plug into those plugs. And the reason that we have things to plug into these plugs is not because we've stolen them from anybody. It's because we are a superior culture. We're a culture where anybody has the opportunity to use their mind to the best of their ability and try to sell it in as free a marketplace that has ever existed in human history, whether it's a marketplace of religions, whether it's a marketplace of ideas, whether it's a marketplace quite literally of product. We don't, look, when I get up in the morning, this is something I learned. It's one of the reasons I'm now a conservative, or because I'm a conservative, I've learned to do it. I've learned to be grateful. And if you're anything like me, when I wake up in the morning and I turn on the light switch, I stop and I say, thank you, Ben Franklin, for the electricity. And thank you, Thomas Edison, for the light bulb. Right? Not Barack, not Hussein, not any of these others. Thank you, Thomas Edison and Ben Franklin. And when I go over to the computer, which is the first thing I do in the morning, I stop and I say, thank you, boys and girls at IBM. Not at Al-Qaeda, not at Hamas, IBM. All right? When the operating systems come up, I say, thank you, Steve Jobs. Or thank you, Bill Gates. And when I click on the internet, I say, thank you, Al Gore. See, we have these things because we create these things, because we created an environment where you can create these things. We have cable television not because we stole it from the Sudanese. All right? And the Sudanese don't have cable not because we stole it from them. The Sudanese don't have cable because when you're hacking off the heads of 1 million of your citizens, chances are one of them may have been the cable guy.